Cool, it's awesome. So hopefully we'll see some stuff shipping really soon, and obviously we'll update that online. And this sort of usability problem is one of the problems, and there's more to that. Obviously, there's like issues like identity and naming, like long addresses and things like that are complicated, and there's decentralized identity and naming models that are being developed, and those are, I think, ultimately like really complementary to things like USDC for simplifying payments. I know one of the other big areas, and we've talked about it at a high level, and I think we'll probably keep it at a pretty high level here today, is if we think about USDC as a protocol, which it is, and as a standard, we want to make sure that that standard works broadly, that it can be used on different platforms and infrastructures. And earlier this year, we talked about a multi-chain framework for USDC, and I know that there's a lot of work happening around that. And I think one of the things that we'll see is a lot more innovation happening in third generation blockchains that are coming out, and getting to a place where people can have very payment oriented blockchains, embedded device oriented blockchains, and a lot enterprise oriented blockchains, a lot of different use cases that are there. But I'd love to hear both of you guys talk a little bit about the scalability piece of this. If major consumer companies want to start using this as a standard in the next 12 months and are pointing tens, if not hundreds of millions of users at these networks, how are we going to have USDC support that?
Yeah, and I'm happy to dive in here. A little bit is that I liken a little bit to like the days of the modem, where we're still very early in terms of throughput that are available on this. And I think there's some good studies that compare Bitcoin, let's say, to the Visa network, and in terms of what the throughput and scalability of those networks are. And to their credit, like every blockchain has realized this and is working on some solution. So for example, Ethereum is underway on a large project called Ethereum 2.0, whose job is to increase scalability of the network. And there's a number of different proof of stake chains that have launched to enable this. And I think, to me, like as a principle, the goal is that USDC should be available wherever developers and users are over time. And just like, the space changes so dramatically, so quickly, I think the goal is to continue to do that, to enable USDC, like, on Ethereum today, potentially other chains in the future, wherever developers, and users are really clamoring for it.
Yeah, Joao.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think if I can share a bit of an anecdote, Namil and I, we shared a business trip a few months ago, and we were in DC talking to this very important entity over there. And I think they asked the question, right, Namil, why did you choose Ethereum in the first place? And would you choose Ethereum again if you were to design USDC today? And our answer was very easily yes to both, right? Like the reason why we chose Ethereum was clearly because of the developer traction and where the developer eyeballs and the end user eyeballs were at the time. But even today, if we were to build USDC again, that would probably be the as we call sometimes the canonical chain of choice. But the way that we see USDC is also as a standard, right? As a almost like a protocol layer, and so we have to be open to bringing USDC to new places where where interesting thing is happening, and especially as different public blockchain infrastructures develop with particular specialities, whether it is scaling or use case or whatever it is, if that brings orthogonal growth and use cases for the kinds of things that we are passionate about, I think it's natural that we would gravitate and look into supporting USDC on those infrastructures as well.
Yeah, it seems like for sure the next year there's just intensifying work on the infrastructure layer, coming from a lot of different places, and sort of digital dollar standards are going to be in focus for everyone. Everyone wants to have a digital dollar standard that works on the internet. So it's pretty awesome, and I'm excited about what I think we'll see kind of coming there.